All right, good afternoon, actually evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Just wanted to go through a few quick kind of housekeeping items here as we get started. This session should last for about 30 minutes. I apologize for starting just a little late. Wanted to give everyone a chance to jump on here. The session will also be recorded, so if you need to check back or you want to view it again at a later time, it will be available shortly after we finish here today. A few quick things as well. You see hopefully where you can enter some questions. If you have questions, feel free to ask them. Definitely want this to be as interactive as possible and get all of your questions answered, that you have to help you get as much information as you're looking for. A few things students are always looking to know: when our next program start dates are. Definitely May 11th. There is still time to get everything together for that, as well as May 7th would be the next start, or September 7th would be the next start as well. You can see that we have our application deadlines coming up soon, but there is still definitely time. And then please feel free, if you haven't so already, make sure that you do check out our website, which is miami.edu/online. So as we get started here today, my name is Carissa Johnson. I'm actually the enrollment manager here for our UOnline programs. We're very excited to have you today. Again, thank you. I'm excited to be able to show you a little bit about the classroom today, definitely get your questions answered, and hopefully be able to help you guys in either making a decision or continuing on with your decision if you've already submitted your application and are moving through the process. Some of the things that we will go through today will be, again, a view of the classroom and going through some things like course announcements, faculty information. We get the question a lot of how do I access my faculty. Everybody's always interested in learning how to, what are they going to do, so we'll view the syllabus and then kind of go through a few best practices as we go along and show you some different types of media that can be incorporated into the different courses. Then we will, again, if there are any questions, the session may go a little bit longer just in case there's additional questions at the end. So feel free to jump off if you have to. Again, it will be recorded. If not, feel free to ask questions throughout. Okay. All right, so let's jump right into the classroom here. One of the first things that you'll do when you log into the classroom is you're going to be able to see the announcements section. So the announcements section seems like, okay, yeah, it's just announcements, but really it's a really exciting part of the class. This is one of the parts where your faculty may present their new office hours. This is also a part where you can see here where, one of our instructors were discussing that the final grades are now posted. Some instructors will use it a lot, and some instructors will use it not that often. So every course is going to be a little bit different. It is going to be up to that particular instructor. One of the other things that's really interesting, as you can see here, going down, looking at some faculty information. Who are the faculty? First of all, the Sport Administration program has amazing faculty. One of the things that we always hear from students about is, who's going to be teaching my courses and how do I get to know the faculty? This is a great way to get to know the faculty a little bit more. You can see that this is Dr. Martin. He actually teaches one of our first courses, which is KIN 566. Most likely, the majority of you will actually be able to probably have him as an instructor. He just finished up that first course, and our students absolutely loved him. One of the really neat things about this particular course, this 566 course, is that multiple instructors from the Sport Administration program actually collaborated together, and they each were able to create some curriculum that is incorporated into each of these weeks. And we'll go through that here in just a few moments. Some instructors will present their information on how to be contacted. So you can see here in the middle of the screen. Some instructors will also use this tool right here called course messaging. And essentially course messaging is just like an internal email type of system. So it's actually a really neat tool, mostly because students, sometimes you get your email all cluttered, and it's really nice to be able to go to one place to see all of the interaction that you either had maybe with other students in there or just particularly with communication between you and your faculty member. So now to the good stuff, right? Not like this isn't really good, but everybody wants to know what does my week look like? What are we going to do? How do you learn in an online course? So this is the syllabus. This is the nice part about the way that we have the syllabus is, again, you can see it here. It's pretty easy to find over here on the left-hand side. One of the great parts about the way that we have the syllabus structure typically is it's broken up into different chunks. So, you don't have to go searching through a huge monster, like 30-page PDF trying to just to find when is my assignment due this week. You can see here that the course information just goes through basic course information, how long the course is, how many credits it is, your learning outcomes, all of the good stuff. You can also see down here it does talk about technical support as well. Don't forget that we do have a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week student support team that is available to you just in case you do have any issues. One of the great things about this course is that there are video discussions. And we'll touch on the media support here in a second as well. But so it's really neat. It really helps with that networking, putting a face with the name. You're starting to build relationships all across the country and in some cases all across the world. Definitely being able to start with that networking, which is so important in this industry. As we move forward here, you can see that there's a course materials tab. So you can see that this is where it's going to go through, what types of books do I need. One of the neat parts about this particular program is that the faculty has decided that as a requirement, they'd like you to actually purchase, they would like you to purchase a subscription to the Sports Business Journal. Lots of good stuff in there. I know they refer to it quite often within, discussions and things like that. Keeps you really updated. The better part about it is that there is a student discount on it. So if you already subscribe to it, you might want to reconsider and hold off until you have to resubscribe if you are considering, moving forward and getting started in the program. As we move over to this next tab, now here's the good stuff. I know that one student already on the call has asked how many days a week are generally devoted to a class. So that's a great question. Generally, it is a graduate level program. So you are going to want to, it's not going to be divided into days. I would say it'd be more divided into hours. Of course, certain weeks will take you longer to get the assignments done than others. You might be more excited about a certain topic, or it might take you longer to research about a different topic. But for the most part, you can see in this course, in regards to days, you'll have discussions that are due throughout the week. So you'll have to post those by Tuesdays and respond to those by Thursdays. And now you guys are looking at these dates. These are actually from our current course that we just ended, so that the dates will of course be updated corresponding to what the start date of when you get started would be. There are quizzes in this program. They are timed quizzes, so not every course will have them, but that is something that you will want to adequately set aside your time for. Once you start the quiz, you typically you have to start the quiz, do the quiz, and then end it. So you can't start it and stop it. So if you got if you have little kids running around, or if you're busy at work or things like that, it's definitely one of those things where you want to go, set aside your time, that time allotment to just particularly focus on the quiz so that you can do the best that you can. And then you'll also see that in this course you've got assignments, and these assignments are typically due on Saturdays. Now sometimes what you'll find is that, things will happen and maybe your instructor will have to change the date or day that an assignment is due. So those are also things that you may find in that course announcement section. Sometimes, and I see another question here about group assignments. That is a great, great question as well. So in this particular course, there are no group assignments, but yes, there will be group assignments throughout your program. I know in the next course, that is KIN 564, there is a group assignment in there. But again, group assignments are pretty awesome because it does still help you with that networking piece, which is going to be vitally important for you, really to break into the industry and to kind of create those bonds and start to get to know those people. One of the things to consider as well is that we do everything on Eastern time. So you can see here, you'll just want to plan your time ahead. So if you're in California, you'll just want to make sure that you are aware that it's this particular time instead of midnight for you. Or if you're across, if you are out of the country. We do have some students that are international or in the military as well. So always rely on Eastern time, and that will get you kind of started. One of the nice things about this particular course also is you can see that it's broken up into your weeks, and then each week you can see that the days actually stay pretty consistent. So you know that at least for this course, you can kind of plan your time accordingly, make sure that you have your schedule all set. Once you move into your next course, again, those days may change. And so one of the things that's also really nice is that you will have access to your next course approximately 4 days before the class starts. So if Tuesdays all of a sudden turned into Wednesdays, it's not like you're just figuring that out on the first day of class. Here's where you can, going to the next tab, you can see where how you're assessed. So what is my grade dependent upon, right? So it's going to be a little variety of a few different things. You can see how it all breaks down. It also does go through just some basic structure of the course where it kind of gives a little description of different places. Again, the announcements and discussions and things of that nature. Going back to that media support and those discussion questions, one of the things that we do get questions from students on quite often are, one of the neat parts about this particular course, I think, is that the discussion questions are through video. So you get the question, you'll get it ahead of time, and then you'll get a chance to actually speak and articulate your answer as opposed to always just writing it in a discussion board. Some students, there's a variety of different ways that you can post your video. Some students may or may not have trouble with it, but that's why this is important for you. We do have a lot of support just in case you come across some stumbling blocks. And you can see here that you'll even find some tutorial videos to kind of help get you through how to use some of the software that's in the courses. Again, we do also have that student support team that is available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can call them. You can submit a request through a ticket, essentially through your student portal, and they can get back to you right away. Now let's get into the good stuff here. So you can see that on the side over here, on the left-hand side in this navigation bar, your weeks are broken down by each week. Again, these courses are 7-week courses, and you do take 2 7-week courses per semester. They're not taken at the same time, which is really nice. You get to just do 1 course at a time. So you really get to focus in on that particular information, really absorb it, really learn it during that time. So if we go into these weeks, what you can see is that each week will actually start in this course with an introduction video. This particular week was actually designed by Dr. Martin himself. So if you go into the video, he actually gives just a little quick blurb about himself and what you'll be learning, and a little, just kind of a little bit more about his background and those types of things. One of the other nice things about it is that you can also download the information. Let's say you don't have time or are unable to view it. You can also download the transcript of what he is saying, and you can bring it with you. You can view it in the car. You can kind of read it. Maybe the baby's sleeping or something, and you can't find your headphones or something like that. So you can see here, if we move over to the next tab as well, this is where it starts to go into the different types of discussion questions. For this particular course, your first discussion question probably will be one of the easier ones, where it says, tell us a little bit about yourself. So that is that's a pretty exciting. I think it's a pretty exciting type of discussion to talk about. This is where you really get to shine. Tell everybody about all the cool things that you're doing, all the great things that you want to do, and really, again, start to kind of get to know all of your classmates just like you guys were sitting in class together. So I do see that we did receive a few other questions coming in. One of them talks about networking, internships, and different avenues for people in the industry to continue to network. So that's a great question. That's a question that I would say that we get from the majority of students that are interested in this program. One of the things that we've been told from faculty is that networking is key. To bust into the industry, you've got to start networking as soon as possible. One of the great things is that all of our faculty have been in the industry, and so they know the ins and outs of different particular parts of the industry. Another great thing is that a lot of students that are currently in the program, students who you will be going through the program with, are also currently in different parts of the industry. So whether that is something from being like an athletic director to working at a university, within the particular sports arena or those types of things in athletics, there's a big variety of backgrounds that students are bringing to the table in this course or in this program. One of the things also that you will all have access to will be our Topple Career Center, and so there is the people that work there are amazing. They are really helpful, and they're willing to work with you if you need everything from resume help, how can I make my resume better, to helping and doing Skype interviews with you, in preparation for an interview for a job maybe, or even just to practice. They can help point you in the right direction on how to get started as well. So can the faculty. So the faculty, I would say, are probably your best resource for that. One of the biggest, there has been a couple of websites that our faculty have directed us to. One of them is called Teamwork, and then we also have the Sports Business Journal now has a Career Center, or a careers link in there as well that they have recommended that we've discussed with students. And also there's actually a Facebook page that is specifically designed for students that are in the sport administration program. Employers very frequently go onto this Facebook page and they are looking for graduates. So, whether that is someone that's an alumni from here who now is in the industry that's coming back and looking for additional, people that are graduating from this program. They may not live here. Not all of the positions may be here in Florida. So don't be discouraged if you, live in Washington or you live in, again, California or Illinois. That's a great resource to use. Another thing, too, is, again, just start talking with your faculty members. There is an internship coordinator that is here on campus. However, one of the things, they're mostly helping the students that are on campus, but we have been told that they can also assist in, seeing if there's anything that they can do to assist with, you guys, whether it is setting up an internship, at least pointing you in the right direction. We're not going to, unfortunately we don't do job placement and anything like that, but we have a lot of resources and a lot of people here to help get you pointed in the right direction. And then of course it's all up to you, making sure that you're showing up for your interview on time with a big smile and then, knocking the socks off of whoever's interviewing you. Okay, so within your weeks, you're not going to have to show up at a particular day or time. We did see that in that syllabus you did have, different assignments due on different days, but there's nothing that is synchronous where you have to, show up at Tuesday at 7 p.m. every Tuesday. Some instructors may choose to have things such as office hours. Some instructors may choose to do conference calls with you weekly. It's all going to vary based on the instructor. One of the really, really neat things about this particular course is that you get the opportunity. So if everybody can look here over to the left and you go through weeks 1 through 7, you see that you're going to be learning about different things in the industry, right? So we're going through an introduction to sport, globalization, come down here to finance and economics. So while you're going through it, you're actually going to have an opportunity with your journal assignment. The assignment is going to be based on the Washington Redskins name controversy. So for this first week, for instance, you'll probably be, discussing all the things that you're discussing and learning and everything like that. You'll actually be able to now put forth into an assignment particular to how does it pertain to this name controversy. Again, if we go down here to week 6, you can see that in the assignment here, you're going to be talking about and analyzing and start synthesizing all of the different things that you've now learned about finance and economics and putting that towards how that affects, this particular issue and how that, right here is how is the name change impacting their revenue. So different things like that. As we go, this week is also actually a very great week, in particular because this is a week that our program director, Dr. Warren Wisenant, he actually designed this particular week. This is his background. This is his kind of cup of tea, shall you say. He is a fabulous guy. I'm really excited that you guys will all at least get a chance to be able to see and work with him. He does teach a few different courses in this program as well. I think more towards the middle of the program. But again, all of the faculty is so great. Really, really, really utilize them. As a best practice, I would say, always reach out to your faculty. They're so engaged and so willing to help you. So, maybe not at 2 a.m. That's when you'll call our student support team for some help. But if it's not 2 a.m., they're definitely there for you. They're here. They want to see you succeed. They want to help you, get into the industry. They understand that there's going to be some struggles between working all day, trying to get your homework done, all of those types of things. They've been there, they've done it, they've been in the industry themselves. So really definitely utilize them. All right, so let me check here and see. We do have another question here. It says, is there a difference between the online course content versus the traditional course content? So that's a great question as well, and the question would be no. The difference would be the format and how you're actually going to learn the information. So you can see that there's some video discussions that you'll see in this particular course. You'll have some intro discussions. What am I going to learn, in this week worth of content? What am I going to learn? Once you move into I can go here. Once you move into different courses, they're going to present the information to you sometimes in a different way. One of the things about this particular course is that you might see things like PDFs that they will go through and show you. These are typically, there might be videos, there might be different articles that you'll read. So for this particular week, you can see that there's a variety of different learning materials that you'll have. Not every course will be the same, and not every week will be the same. But typically you'll have a variety of interactive types of ways. And again, unfortunately, I can't show you the exact discussion area because we do have students, actual discussions in there, so we can't, violate their privacy in that way. But that's really where, all of the magic happens. That's where all of the discussions and the conversations and, hey, did you see what's happening in, did you hear about this particular team in the news this week? And all of a sudden, it's very, it's very impactful. You're hearing about how maybe one side of the country is being impacted by something that is happening in the industry, whereas maybe on the other side of the country, it's something else that's more impactful for that side of the country. Another question that we have is, another question that we did receive as well is, how long will it take to complete all the coursework and earn a degree? So this program is a 30-credit program. Each course is 3 credits. Each course is 3 credits. Each course is 7 weeks long. So you're looking at about 20 months to completion by taking one course every 7 weeks. The great part is that you get a break in between your courses, so you can kind of take a breath and then get recharged and start back up on that next course. To finish your coursework throughout the week, again, I just want to reiterate, it is a graduate level program. You do want to make sure that you are spending adequate amount of time, or at least setting that aside. And usually what students have told us is that's approximately 20 hours per week. Between reading, between writing, doing your discussions, between taking the quizzes, doing your assignments, and things like that. The best part about it is that it doesn't all have to be done at one particular time. If you are working overnight shifts, it could be done at 2 in the morning. I guess that would be during your work time. So maybe not that time, but it could be done early morning, in the very evening. On some of it, you might be able to do some reading during a lunch break. You might be able to, I would definitely say, take the quiz in your office at home with the door locked, put the dog outside, do all that stuff. But the other times, it's really up to you. If you're sitting at the kids' Little League game, there is, hopefully you're paying attention to it, but also, you might be able to get a few slides, a few PowerPoint presentations read. You might be able to get part of an article read while, you're waiting for maybe your next class to begin if you're a teacher. Perfect. So let me see. We do have another question here. Let's see. So it says, if you start May 11th, when can one realistically expect to finish the program with their master's? And then it also asks, the question also asks, are you afforded the chance to graduate with traditional on-campus students? That is an awesome question because the answer is yes. Absolutely. You are, once you're admitted to the program, you are a UM student. You're just learning your information in a different way. A lot more flexible, probably. And unfortunately for those of you that are in the snow, you don't get to, come and see the sunny Miami area, but you go through all of the same things. Obviously, you have the same faculty that is teaching the campus course. The content is the same. It's created by the same faculty. You have the same graduation. You'll have to apply for graduation just like a traditional on-campus student would. And yes, commencement is held 2 times a year. So most likely, if you did get started in May, you would most likely be attending the winter commencement, which would be the end of next year. So yes, everything is exactly the same. You would be a cane. You would love Sebastian just like everyone else does here. You're already really excited about sports. I already know that. So we don't have to, kind of coax you to that. We might have to coax you into liking, the Canes a little bit more and maybe rooting for them, but that just depends. Another question I have here is, do we have to do presentations on certain projects? Some of the great parts about, some of the technology that goes into these courses is that one of the things is that, first of all, the instructors create the course. So again, if there is an assignment that is a group assignment and you have to stand up and give that presentation, in front of the course, we have the technology to be able to do the same thing just within the course. So while there's no group presentations or presentations that are necessarily due in this particular course, you may find that as you move along, there might be a course or an assignment within other courses in the program that you might have to do a presentation. You might have to do a video presentation where you actually do the presentation, video it, and upload your video. You may actually find that you have to do a group presentation. So the great part is that there's also really cool technology that's embedded within these courses that you can actually do that as well. Pretend like you're on the Brady Bunch, right? So it's similar to that in a sense where, you'll record your part and then, the next person in the group would just start to record their part as well. So it would basically look like a seamless presentation for the instructor. Another question I have here is talking about scholarship opportunities and payment plans. The answer is yes, there are scholarship opportunities. Actually, if you're thinking about the program, it is, we just started it this year in January, and so we are actually offering an inaugural scholarship of 40% off of the tuition to all students that get started in either May or in September. And one of the things, of course, to consider is that just like every other institution, you'll probably find the tuition will go up a little bit in the fall. So it's always great. There is still time to get started in May. If we can definitely help you. We have enrollment advisors here that can help walk you through every single step of the way, help you get prepared for class. If financial aid is a concern for you or that's something that you're looking to do, there's still time for that. So basically, we can still get you started. If that's not an option for you and you're looking at more of a traditional start like the September start, definitely, again, there is still plenty of time. I would still suggest getting your application and getting everything in right away. We may find that in the fall, we may find that there's such an interest in the program that we might have to start putting people on a wait list. But that all depends on how many sections that, the faculty decides that they want to open up for that particular start. So it's always better to get your stuff in a little bit sooner rather than later. Same thing with military benefits. If you're a person that needs to use military benefits, we definitely have a point person for that. I would suggest giving us a call here so we can get you in touch with them and getting that started right away. So thank you all. I know we're a little bit over time. If there are additional questions, please feel free to contact either myself or you can also email onlineinfo@miami.edu. Give us a call if you have a bunch of questions. Either way, we are definitely here for you. I really, really appreciate your time, and again, please feel free to reach out to me as well if you do have additional questions. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and I hope you have a great evening.